As I mentioned, the feeling for me after finishing a book is one of great joy, but it's also one of feeling completely lost. And you're liberated to do a lot of new things, but exactly what those new things might be, who knows? And I found myself after finishing Dare Say, which I'd worked on and off for 9 years or so, and very intensely for the last 5 years, the point where I imagine there are finicky folks like this here, where you're just rearranging the table of contents over and over and over and over again to get it right. And I couldn't really get headed in a new direction, so I did what I would recommend to any of you that might find yourself in this position, especially the young writers. I gave myself exercises. And one of the exercises that I gave myself was a sort of template. And I decided I would write a series of poems that all revolved around the template of describing something to something else. Now those descriptions didn't often take a Webster's format, and some of them were pretty weird. There was like describe cheerleaders to St. Thomas Aquinas, there's describe Icarus to KFC, and a variety of other ones. Some of them made it into the book, but others did not. I thought I might share a few of those with you. The first one is, in fact, describe Icarus to KFC. Admit the labyrinth. Accept chicken bones piling up in the kitchen. To find one feather in all those buckets, one feather among the fat and batter and flesh, one feather, and I'll start the gluing and waxing, the climbing with a song towards sun. Describe wildflowers to ethics. The ground gives a push, rocks applaud, and nearby waterfalls like rivers of joyful tears. That time laughing so hard at my son, toddling around the house with an erection on which he'd hung the friendship bracelet from the Bible people that said, "What would Jesus do?" Answer that one, and you might be able to see those purples, reds, and yellows, the subtle lavender gloss, sheeny pinks, even the over-the-top oranges, and not be tempted to pick the explosive petals, to press into a notebook with the desperate hope you could one day open the pages and say, "As it was, so it shall be." Try again. Write scribbles of smoke against the sky, Philium, trillium, birdfoot, violet, blue flag. Try paintbrush, buttercup. Try please. Try fire and tears. Try greeny, green, green. And then describe Turner to MLK. Many of you are probably familiar with the early 19th century British painter that this poem connects to in his very wild canvases. Describe Turner to MLK. 1. The weight of my son at the emergency room for an eye injury, sack of flour, sack of salt, dusty bag of bones collapsed after all those tears. Why does Turner come to mind, those shackled ankles, those drowning slaves? 2. And horizons, each measure, each cleaving of flesh to soil, breath to sentence, body toward earth. The shepherd watches his flock cross the stream. Nymphs bathe and flirt and sun themselves on rocks, water against ankles, pebbles beneath feet. 3. An old woman sits next to us, and every time she shifts in her seat, I can hear her bones click, dying, her faulty architecture like an old radiator, cooling engine. 4. The burden of seeing explosive sunlight, the swirled painted water pouring over Turner's slaves. My son sleeps. Have you ever walked out into the sticky heat of a Memphis night and asked for gunshots to stop for just one hot hour? Oh, heap of body, heap of bones, heap of dreams, heap of moans. 5. A story with a happy ending and no answers, slight corneal scratch healed with antibacterial rinse, the eyeball's protective pocket cupping the universe like a calm inlet offering a foundering ship protection from rough seas. You tell me, what washes blood from a balcony? I'm listening. I'm saying please. The sun rises quickly, and so do sea monsters. We talked a little bit about this poem this afternoon, so it might be fun to read it. It's called Describe Book Blurbs to Nationalism. I don't know that too much backstory or commentary needs to go along with it, except it's not just in poetry world, but it seems everywhere that when you get into the realm of the blurb, you get into the realm of extreme hyperbole and exaggeration and overstatement. Something can't be good, it's got to be the absolute best. Something can't be finely done, it has to be the most perfect thing ever. In poetry world, though, that tends to be the case just a little bit more. And maybe that's also true of times of nationalism. But this is Describe Book Blurbs to Nationalism. You are necessary. You are the new you. You combine art and electricity, ham and rye. You are the sharp mustard between meat and cheese. You cling like burdock, flow like river. You are to your like we to wet. You house builder, you state builder, you democracy builder extreme. You hang sheetrock with neat seams. You paint the scenery so it seems real. You plumb, you deep, deep, deep. You wire the stars, you roof the sky. You intelligent, brave, brilliant, honest, you risk-taker extreme. Oh, risky, risky you. You move, you muse, you dazzle, you brilliant, brilliant, brilliant you. You genius, you incarnation, you epiphany, Virgin Mary in moldy bread. You Walt Whitman mixed with Martin Luther King. You Dickinson, Shakespeare, Dante's lost brother. You Rome, you Byzantium, you Marconi, you radio, you chat room, you needed, you flag, you necessary. Oh, say can you.